Decision Point MPP 2024. It's a day and a half to the much publicized National Delegate Congress of the New Patriotic Party to choose their flag bearer to lead the party for December 7 next year. Welcome to the Situation Room. We're live on Citi TV. Today we're taking you into everything. We profile the candidates. We bring you the latest poll numbers. We take you to the party head office where a press conference has just been held. We speak to party leadership on the preparations for the big day on Saturday, all in the next 50 or so minutes. Stay with us.
We are calling all distinguished alumni, cherished friends, and well-wishers of the University of Professional Studies Accra, UPSA, to join us as we climax the 58th anniversary of UPSA with a fundraising gala and awards ceremony. The date is Friday, November 3rd, 2023, at the iconic UPSA Auditorium with our guest of honor, Dr. KK Sapon, Chancellor of UPSA. Our fundraising gala is not just an event, it's a dynamic opportunity to contribute to the establishment of an endowment fund and the construction of an ultra-modern police station for the UPSA community, as well as rekindling old friendships on campus, networking with business leaders, and getting recognized for your charitable contributions. For tickets and donations, simply dial *771 *10# and enter the UPSA code 1850. UPSA, scholarship with professionalism.
This is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. My Airbnb business is booming.
To me, bank and I'm not say Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Welcome back to the Situation Room. So today we're taking you into the MPP, a day and a half to the election that will choose the flag bearer for the 2024 election. Now we know that there are 4 candidates left. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We also have MP for Asin South, Kennedy Ohene Japan. We also have Adainimo, a former Member of Parliament, and former Greek Minister, Dr. Efriye Akoto. Hansen Ajima has been profiling the 4 as the countdown to the election draws nearer.
4 candidates in accordance with their appearance on the ballot paper for November 4 are Kennedy Ohene Japan, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Dr. Efriye Akoto, and Francis Adainimo. The 4 are seeking the mandate from over 200,000 delegates after some 900 delegates whittled down the number of candidates on August 26. The November 4 polls appears to be a 2-horse race between Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and Kennedy Ohene Japan. This has been evident in the intensity of the campaigns between the two and the messaging from camps of both sides. All 4 candidates, however, as part of their campaign strategies, have taken trips across the country. Kennedy Ohinie-Japon's campaign, for instance, tells Citi News that the Asen Central Member of Parliament has so far visited all 275 constituencies in the country.
We've been very busy. We just completed the 3 northern regions which were outstanding. So far we've gone through almost, let me say, every constituency in the country.
Equally has the Vice President's team visited most constituencies, with Dr. Bawumia currently in the northern region. Dr. Usuefri Akoto's team has also resumed its campaign after suspending same following the demise of the wife of former President Kufuor.
The Honorable Dr. Usuefri Akoto campaign is ongoing in earnest. And actually, as I speak to you now, I'm in Sunyani now. And we've covered the Ahafo and Bruno areas. We have been engaging at the polling station level.
Observed from afar, the Vice President's team appears to have captured the top echelon of the party to its side. This is evident in how constituency executives always endorse his candidature when he makes a stop in their constituencies.
Brekum East is no-go area for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Nyame Adum, November 4th, Yakoko Tuabana, including the Odia. I can assure you of not less than 80% of the votes.
Kennedy Ohinie-Japan, who claims to have the support of the grassroots delegates, including polling station and electoral executives, has accused the Vice President's team of inducing the constituency executives and MPs with monies and goodies.
In Ashanti region, one of the chairmen, he got Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Some got as high as 150,000. In Central region, some chairman got Toyota Navara, Nissan Navara, brand new, and it cost 40,000. When you convert it, it's 440,000 Ghana cedis. And now, you are going to vote with all these people, and they will come and give you 2,000 cedis.
The Vice President on his campaign trips has, however, attempted to debunk these claims, explaining that it is only a tactic deployed by his detractors after sensing an impending defeat.
The way the results of the superdelegates came, many of our opponents are confused, and they are seeing looming defeat on November 4th. And because of that, they've decided to adopt some new tactics. The new tactics is what? If you miss the ball, don't miss the man. That is the new tactics that they are adopting. And so, what is the tactics? They have decided to spread lies.
But the campaign team of Mr. Kennedy Ohinie-Japan, who appear disappointed at the actions of some MPs and ministers, says it will campaign against some of these MPs to lose their seats.
If we get a chance to win most of these MPs and will be cleaned up, then we will we will campaign against them.
And all those who didn't support you?
Of course, Papa Neri, Bonnie.
The candidates have been explaining to delegates why they are the best to lead the New Patriotic Party into the 2024 elections. Kennedy Ohinie-Japan continues to trumpet his capacity to deliver jobs for Ghanaians.
You can be a good farmer, you can be a good businessman. Why don't you ask him the same place what you can do and only ask for certificate? If you vote for me, no certificate, MP.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, on the other hand, says he has the ability to win more votes in the NDC strongholds, which will be key in delivering victory for the NPP in 2024.
Western region, Bawumia. Eastern region, Bawumia. Western North, Bawumia.
Ushe North, na Ushe Zongwa, two strongholds, Dr. Bawumia Bejina, Ebetofom. And Tofom Soa, NDC to me win election. Voter region, me call Jina voter region, making more votes. I'm a MPP, why voter region.
Dr. Usuofri Akoto's team, however, says his role as Minister of Agriculture will do the trick for him.
Many farmers happen to be a lot or the bigger scope collection of the delegates, and therefore it comes to reason that his message about using agriculture as the backbone of the economy to take Ghana out of the economic quagmire is well accepted.
Francis Adainimo says he is the right person to break the 8 as he has not been in government for the past 7 years and will come as a refreshing personality for the Break the 8 agenda.
I'm advocating for a new phase. A phase that is not in government because of the historical fact that we have in this country. And that historical fact is that after 8 years of any party in government, if that party picks somebody who has been associated with the government or being part of the outgoing government as the next presidential candidate, that party does not win.
Beyond these stores and statements, the Kennedy Ohene Japan has in the course of this race deployed branded buses. Chairman of the campaign team says even though they are no longer deploying them, it was for brand visibility purposes. The political history of Dr. Bawumia arguably cannot be told without the essential involvement of his wife, Samira Bawumia. She was pivotal in the 2016 election that got the NPP into power with a record 1 million vote margin. In the lead up to the November 4 polls, the Second Lady has taken separate tours to some regions to drum home the message of Dr. Bawumia.
Every generation has a leader for that generation. They solve the problems of that generation, of that period. And for us, this period, the leader for us is Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
So the race is heating up nicely. Those were scenes and sounds from the campaign trail. We're going to take you into the latest poll numbers. Of course, the poll was done in October. Musa Danko has joined me. We'll spend some time looking at the numbers in terms of what it's looking like. Big story we've said to you already. It looks like they're all undecided, but we have a theory for that undecided. It's like, look, sometimes people just want to tell you who they support, and the polling culture in Ghana is not that strong. Be that as it may, this is the number we've been working with as of the second week of October. Things may have changed, but this is the numbers we have. Bawumia 43.5, Kennedy 23.5. These gentlemen are out. Lots of undisclosed, lots of undecided. Musa Danko, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bernard.
So a couple of things to qualify here. These numbers were taken in October.
11th October.
11th October. And how much room do you give for voters to change their minds between 11th October and 4th November?
What I would say is that in the normal race, in a very stable race, you wouldn't have this high volume of a high number of people who are undecided. And you find very little, maybe 5%, 6%. And in that case, towards the election, people begin to make up their mind because they are generally torn between options. But if you look at the two candidates here, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Ohene Japan, there aren't many similarity between them. Mm-hmm. They are complete different kind of candidates. Mm-hmm. So for people to be saying they are confused between Kennedy and Bawumia, I think they are a bit...
So you feel like there are... The race is clearer now, but the undecided is a false undecided.
Yes, false undecided, yes.
So you use it carefully.
Yes.
But you also said to me that the undecided are typically those who don't trust the establishment.
Yes.
So you believe that Kennedy may have more support than the polls are saying?
I think so. I think so.
Because the Bawumia team have said they are winning by 80%, which is interesting because the super delegates, they got 68%. And if you look at the trend, you expect the higher you go, the more establishment they are. So if Bawumia got 68% in super delegates, he would obviously get maybe a bit lower. But the trouble is that Alan is no longer in the race. So we don't know whether that has, is there an Alan effect in your numbers?
See, the Alan effect didn't swing Bawumia's way in majority. About 2/3 probably had gone to Kennedy. That is why he's going to do well within the undisclosed block and perhaps the undecided block. So even though Alan is not in the race, his spirit and his numbers are still playing up in the MPP race.
Mm-hmm. So that's the issue with Alan.
Yes.
I want to look at the regional breakdown just to give a sense of where we are. So you disaggregate this for regions, and I think the first story that shocked me was that Ashanti region had Kennedy doing better than Bawumia as of the time you took the numbers, with a lot of 22% undecided. So this was the best story. Any comment on this? Did you see any activity in Ashanti in the lead up to the?
But I'm hearing there's a lot of people in Ashanti region, top government officials in Ashanti region, trying to canvass support. And I believe they've been watching these polling numbers, or maybe their own internal polls is showing them that, look, Ashanti may not be that great after all. So when you see campaign swamping in an area, it means they smell blood.
But this is just a 6% gap.
Yeah, because you see, it is very important he wins Ashanti region.
Who?
Bawumia.
If you think it's psychologically important for him to win?
Absolutely important for him to win Ashanti region. If he doesn't, whatever win that he gets, the loss in Ashanti region could be a big blow to him.
I see, and this is 22% undecided. So this was, of course, in early October. So in this chart, what we see, which is interesting, is that Ahafo and Bono for Bawumia are similar.
Yes.
So he's actually very strong there. And then
Bono East.
Bono East is also, which is interesting because usually Ahafo is closer to Ashanti.
But you can see that Ahafo has got a higher number of not disclosing delegates. That could change the dynamics of Ahafo. But I think Bawumia is still likely to win Ahafo, regardless.
So you think if you put the three Bonos together, Bawumia is going to win?
Yes.
The three Bono regions.
Yes.
So this is the problem for him.
Yes.
You'll be thinking about. Before we continue, guys, if you can get ready for me, the chart that shows us the people who are voting and their numbers. All right, Caleb, if you can put that up. I just want to use that to try and understand why we talk about beautiful. So the deputy ministers and ministers are 28. There's 208,000 people voting. So that's less than 1%. Patrons and council of elders. So these guys were in the first round.
Super delegates.
Patrons council of elders 30. Foundation members 50. National council 61. Regional officers, 272. Don't forget, in the first round, it was regional chairman.
Yeah.
But this is regional
officers.
Chairman, regional vice president, regional secretary. So this is quite a bigger number, 272. TESCON is always controversial, but it's just 271, so it's not too much going there. Overseas branches, 324, not too many. MPs and MMDCs, 397. So all of this together is less than 5%. Yeah. Right? Then constituency patrons, 1,300, still less than a percentage. Council of Elders constituency, 1,375, very similar number, less than a percentage. Now, it starts getting big. Constituency officers. So you have 275 constituency. There are about 5 or 6 officers per constituency, sometimes 6. 4,675, 2%. Electoral area coordinators. So the constituencies are 275. Adenta constituency will have about 8 electoral areas. So there's a factor.
Effect,
yes. So some of them are 4. So some electoral areas are 2 or 3. Some are 5. It depends. So it's not a single factor. So the number is a bit bigger. 6,272. That's 3%. The big issue here is this:
polling station executives.
Polling station executives. So, for example, in the previous election, there were about
38,000
polling stations.
Something polling stations.
Now, every polling station has a polling station chairman, polling station secretary. So it's about 6 or 7 people in a polling station running it. This is the issue.
This is the issue. And remember, those we polled were the bottom 2 in our poll.
So in your poll, the people who answered are these people?
Yeah, which is about 95% of the entire delegates.
Wow. Polling station executives are 92%.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the report Hansen filed, he was saying that the Kennedy thinks his support is there. That's what he's saying, that his support is there. All right, so let's continue with the regionals. So just keep this in mind, viewers. Keep this in mind. I'll come back to this. Keep this in mind. These are the poll voting on Saturday. Almost 93% of the voters are polling station executives. So these are people on the ground. These are people on the ground. And what we need to confirm is whether their thinking is similar to those above them.
In fact, the electoral area coordinators work in tandem with the polling station executives. Because out of the electoral area, it's a collection of polling stations that make the electoral area.
So 95% are at the bottom of the party.
Yes.
5% at the top. The 5% at the top are the super delegates, if you want.
Yes.
And Bawumia got 68% of that.
Of that.
But that race had Alan in it. Baumia's team is telling us they'll get 80. Kennedy's team is saying that they will do better than they did in super delegates because these guys are their people. Now, and the poll dealt with the people at the bottom. So the big story for this one is the Ashanti story, where Kennedy was leading. The second issue for us now is the
Central region.
Central region. Put it up for me. 60% Kennedy Japan, 22% Bawumia. That is serious. 60%. That was.
I think that race is done.
You think that he will win, Kennedy win Central region?
Yes.
Based on the numbers you had second week of October?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you see any action from the Bawumia team going there?
I didn't see, and I haven't heard. All I've heard is that Kennedy is still pushing in Central region. He wants to go above 60%, so he's still pushing there. And probably sometimes if you see that people have ignored a place entirely, probably they've given up.
All right. Guys, get ready with if you have a chart on the regional breakdown of delegates, I'll use that later because I think it will help us to make sense of this. I think Ashanti is the biggest region.
Yes.
Greater Accra is number 2. Central is number 3. Then I think there's,
I think Accra should be the
Greater Accra is number 1,
number
Ashanti
one,
is number 2.
Yes.
We are one of the two.
Yes.
If you have it, let me know. So, but Central 60-22, that is significant.
That is huge.
And Central region, do you have it? All right, guys, put it up for me just to do something. All right, so Greater Accra, 39,132. Ashanti, 34,987. Eastern, 21,233. So Central is the fourth largest. 18,127. And by the way, this matches the national population distribution. So this is correct because if you take the 2021 census, Greater Accra has the most people. Ashanti is number 2. This is the census they did. I think Central, I'm not sure of the order of this though.
I think it's in the same order.
It's the same order.
Yeah.
Eastern is number 3.
Yes.
Central is number 4. And then Western is number 5. What I like to do is, if I added Western to Western North, what would I get? Western is 13,117.
Western North is 16.
6,000.
6,100.
So that's about 20K, 21,000. So it's very similar to Eastern. If I added Volta to OT, what would I get? Volta is 11,900.
And OT is 3,500.
So that's it's not that much. That's about 15K, 14K.
Yeah.
So it's behind. If I added Northern, 11,807 to the other Northern regions. So
Upper West, Upper East.
No, just Northern to the other two.
The old, okay.
So you had
Savannah.
Savannah is
4,000 roughly.
No, Savannah is 3,000. Yeah, 4,000.
4,000 roughly.
And then Northeast is 5,000. So that's 9,000 plus Northern 11,000. That's about 20,000, 21,000. Okay. Then the Bono regions, you have Bono is 6,006. Ahafo is 5,002. And then Bono
East is 7,500. Bigger than Bono in terms of delegates.
And based on your numbers, Bawumia is leading in Greater Accra. Kennedy is leading in Ashanti. Bawumia is leading in Eastern region. Kennedy is leading in Central. Western is tight.
Almost tight, yes.
Volta is Bawumia.
Yes.
Northern is Bawumia.
Yes.
Upper is Bawumia. Bono is Bawumia.
Yes.
Bono Bawumia. Upper West Bawumia. Western North Bawumia. Northeast Bawumia by a big margin.
Yeah.
Ahafo Bawumia. Savannah Bawumia. Oti Bawumia.
Oti is tie.
Oti is a tie.
Yeah.
Then Bawumia has won.
That's what we're. That's
based on what you're saying, Bawumia has won. But anyway, let's look at it. So I mean, this is very simple.
I don't think that is disputable.
That's not in doubt.
That's not in doubt.
Eastern, he's doing a comfortable 50-15.
Yeah.
Although these numbers still are interesting.
They won't change that much in Eastern region.
50-15. So Eastern, he's okay.
Yes.
Greater Accra, 37-13. But you are saying that this is something we should watch out for.
That is the problem in Greater Accra. It's too huge. 50%.
Saying that they won't tell you.
Or they will not. They are undecided.
Maybe the problem is that they don't know you.
So I think anybody that wins Greater Accra will be very close contest. Close contest.
So you think that it's much closer here than this suggests?
Yes, it is. Much closer.
Wow. Let's look at this again. So this is clear for Bawumia, but you don't think this is clear for him?
No.
And this is the biggest region. This is the biggest region, Greater Accra.
Yes, Greater Accra.
Wow. And then this is to be expected.
No doubt.
Northeast, this is to be expected. This is In all the North, this is the region he does the best.
90%.
This is his home region. He's very strong here. Let's see if I can get something else. What is this?
This is Northern region.
Yeah, Northern region?
Yes.
All right, there's something covering my thing.
Yeah.
Viewers, forgive me.
The name of the file is covering it.
Yes, so Northern region 76, I think is better here. Northern region 76. So about Northern region, it takes everything. 62, 76, 69. OT is the only place where there's a tie. OT is the only place where there's a tie. Wow. And then let's just move on to see. Where am I here? This is Western region is close. What's going on here?
Western region is another place that will be very, very dicey.
Okay.
17% are not disclosing, and 21% said they are undecided. And
17 and 21.
Yeah, so anybody can win Western region.
You think so?
Yes. But if I am to bet, I will be tempted to move towards Kennedy for Western region.
So all the Northern regions are Bawumia. Volta is Bawumia. Western North Bawumia. So your point is that the 4 regions that Kennedy, you believe, will win, definitely Central. He's leading Ashanti
region.
Although you are not definite that he will win it.
No.
Western is close.
It's close.
But if you are pushed, you say he will take it.
Yes.
And Greater Accra, even though Bawumia is leading,
you
very think
close.
That it's closer.
It's closer.
So there are 4 key regions: Greater Accra, Central, Ashanti, and Western region. Which together are the biggest. If you take Greater Accra, Ashanti, and Central, they are in the top 4.
Yes, top 4.
Only Eastern in the top 4 is clear for Bawumia.
Yes. That is why the race looks closer than people are admitting.
Last week I didn't get you to do a prediction. When I come back, I'll ask him to tell me what margin whoever wins will get. This is the situation. Hopefully we'll be joined by my team who went to cover the press conference. The MPP's executives also give us the modalities. Very interesting. They say by 4 o'clock we'll know the winner.
Wow.
Yes, so it looks like a very efficient thing they're saying. They're saying, based on what we've been told, by 4 p.m. we know who the winner is. And they'll announce it. So by 5:30 we'll be off air. As in, they will know basically they've planned it such that, because I think that they have enough polling stations for people to finish voting by 2 o'clock.
So officially they'll finish voting by 2 o'clock?
That's what we've been told. So that, and they don't need 2 hours to count. So basically by 4 p.m., the candidate, whoever wins, will be speaking to the country at 4 p.m. So watch out, we'll be right back, stay with us.
Yes, it's here again. Better, brighter, and stronger. It's the Festival of Education, the grand finale of the Global Super Teachers Conference 2023. Get inspired by educators, including parents, teachers, and pupils. Discover new tech, best practice schools, and the 2023 EduCom Award winners. It's happening live on Saturday, 11th November 2023 at the UPS Auditorium, Accra, Ghana, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Speakers, Honorable Johnny Tim Fojo, Bernard Affley, Kofi Asari, and more, and hosted by Grant Bumio. Come and network with world-class educators. Get your free admission at Eventbrite or globalsuperteacher.com. For more information, just call 026-271-4106. The Global Super Teachers Conference. Get informed, go perform.
This conference is brought to you by Africa Education Gateway, Pearson Edexcel, Glossnet, School World Events, NAPS, Access Bank Ghana, and Ghana Olympiad Academy.
It's the Global Super Teachers Conference. Get informed, go perform.
Chadidi Global presents Chadidi Street Art Festival 2023 alongside Ogochocho Festival celebration. Activities include an educative talk party for all visual art students in and around Keta and Loga on Friday, 3rd November. And on Saturday, 4th November, there will be an art procession where you are invited to take a walk in our traditional wear on the streets of Keta to the famous Fort Prisenstein to witness art installation, poetry, and spoken word performances. On the same night, we will have a music musical concerts that glow in the night party and performances in Keta Township. On Sunday, 5th November, food exhibition and market day to showcase our traditional food. Media partners, Citi FM, Citi TV, Jubilee Radio, and Sun City Radio. Chadidi Street Art Festival is absolutely free. For more info, call 0209 563 335 or 0266 848 928. Chadidi Street Art Festival 2023. Leggy.
Welcome back. We're still in the Citiuation room. I've been joined by two, I'll say 1.5 guests, because Hansen is not a guest. Hansen Ajiman has been covering the MPP for us this week. Hansen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bernard.
And then, of course, Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Haruna, welcome.
Thank you, Bernard.
You guys have been in a meeting since morning. What meeting was that?
Today we had a press conference.
Okay.
Before the press conference, the National Council of Elders had called for a meeting.
Okay.
And that meeting was between the National Executive Committee, the 4th aspirant, and the party leadership.
Okay.
So we met with their agents. We deliberated on matters that concerns the unity of the party. And at the end of the day, they signed an agreement.
A bond of good behavior.
With the party.
The bond of 2023.
So it was a family discussion.
Wonderful.
And it was very fruitful.
Are all candidates happy with the arrangements for Saturday?
Yes, we gave the candidates two opportunities. One, to express their views on the happening so far, the cooperation of the Presidential Elections Committee, the guidelines that have been issued, the communication, interaction, and how they have been engaged in terms of the election process, their views and all that. Some of them had expressed some feelings about some happenings, and the Elections Committee took the opportunity to address them. Some that borders on party constitutional affairs to be dealt with. The General Secretary dealt with those particular matters. Then we moved on to have a press conference to address a variety of issues that concerns the elections.
Hansen, what sense did you get from the press conference?
That the National Council of Elders haven't done an observation of the process, haven't sat down and with their experience have a sense that the NPP ship may be heading towards the wrong direction, and there's a need for them to regroup and make sure that it is reshaped. It looks as though the Break the 8 agenda is one that all of them agree with, and so they think that the current state of the NPP, if you leave it as it is, they may not be able to break the 8. And so the address by the chairman of the National Council of Elders told it all. He was very frank in his words. He thinks that the NPP in its current state may be weak, and that some persons may have allowed selfish interest.
So was he talking about the way they were campaigning?
So he says he won't point accusing fingers at anybody, but particularly the way the election has been managed. And so talking about the 4 candidates, talking about the actions and inactions of certain persons. And he believed that there's a need for unity. And so reason they called this meeting between the 4 candidates, their agents, the elections committee, and the executive body. At a point, it looked as though what he was saying was not meant for public consumption. And so it was not surprising that the General Secretary had to stop and tell the media to go out for it to be.
Because he was talking about some of the things that was, wow. But why did the General Secretary ask you to go? Why did your boss ask us to leave?
Essentially, the Council of Elders chairman had even concluded his speech. The next person to speak was the national chairman. Because of the in-house nature of the discussion, we had to be very frank with each other. We had to look at each other's face and tell each other the truth. And because we had also designated some time or period to address the media, we sought that we do engage the media to give us a leave so that we'll have that frank discussion and later come back to discuss with them.
Did the reps of the candidates speak, Hansen?
No, so what we are told is that the candidates were given the opportunity to speak at the meeting.
In that closed-door meeting? Were all four of them there?
Yes, and we gave the reps to the opportunity, but they declined to speak and ceded that to the candidates.
Okay, did the candidates speak?
Yes, the candidates.
So Dr. Bawumia was there?
He was there.
Kennedy was there?
Yes. All of them spoke.
And they signed the bond of 2023?
Yes, they signed.
Together? Did they hold hands and raise? You know how they do it, like, you know, they hold hands and say, hey,
I think they were all doing the showdown. And then signing, yes. They were all tapping each other.
Was there a lot of laughter?
Yes.
Relaxation?
Dr. Bawumia approached Kennedy and said, today is the showdown.
Today is the showdown. And I'm sure they will laugh.
Yes, they all laughed. And Kennedy, in his speech, did acknowledge the rapport between all of them. And he did indicated that when Dr. Bawumia entered and they approached each other, he said they have to do the showdown today. So it is something that he himself had admitted.
Guys, if you have the MPP announcement about what they want to do on Saturday, show it for me. I thought that was quite interesting. In the first super delegates, I don't know what time voting ended.
2
p.m.
Yes.
So by 4 p.m. we knew who had won.
Yes.
So you are using the same approach.
Yes.
That's ambitious because this is 208,000 people.
Yes, what happened is that over the 277 polling centers that we have, we have polling stations that numbers are above 1,000.
Okay.
So where a polling station is above 1,000 or equal to 1,000, we divide it into 2.
All right.
So where we divide it into 2, if Citi FM or Citi TV is a center and the delegates there are more than 1,000 or equal to 1,000 or up to 800, we divide it into 2. And the center will have 2 voting centers. 400
maximum?
Yes.
And when you time the voting, by 2 o'clock, everybody should be done?
Everybody should, because voting starts at 7.
Wow. So our own in-house breakdown of the data as provided to us by the party suggests that there are going to be about 328 voting centers.
So here you have 4 candidates.
4 candidates.
203,437 delegates. I thought it was 208. 203.
So the figure was given to us by the party.
So is this correct? 203. 203. This
yes, 203.
This is correct.
Yes, this is correct.
16 regions all voting.
Yes.
And each constituency has a voting center.
Yes, and it happens maybe in a constituency. For example, Tamale South, there are more than 1,000. So we have 2 voting centers.
Which is why we have this.
Yes, which is why we have this.
And then Accra will have the head office.
The head office
before YMCA for the regional people.
And most centers too can also have more than 2, or some will even have 3 because some have up to 2,000.
And voting begins at 8?
7 a.m.
So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 to 7 hours.
Yes,
I think that's enough.
Yes.
Because there's a register.
Yes, and the thing is walk in. When you come, you don't need that everybody should be gathered. They mention the name, they come and vote. When you come in, and then you simply walk to the one that will identify you. When you are identified...
Is there a list they will go to?
Yeah, there's
so
a
once
list.
Your name is there...
There's a register. We have 3 registers that is provided to the voting center. 1 for check-in, and then 1 for the EC, and 1 is on standby.
It's a very simple process.
Yes, so you come, they check your name, they signal the next, you move in there, you mention your name, they take, you go. So you don't need to wait for anybody.
EC is conducting this?
EC is doing
how are you going to prevent people from taking photos of their votes? That thing was...
From what we did in the 26th August, when you walk in, you would have, your phones has to be taken from you.
So no phone entered in the voting center?
Enter the voting center.
Sweet. So this is brilliant. Then let's come to the next sheet. So you are saying by 4 p.m. You announce.
Yes, we would have had our...
But how do you know wouldn't there be a tie? Like what if there's a tie? Because you have 4 candidates.
Or what if there's a runoff?
Yes, my question is like, by your rules, is it not the first past the post? So you need to get 50% or more?
Yes, 50% or more.
And you are sure that by 4 p.m. you will declare the results you outdoor the candidate, and you address. All of this will start at 4 p.m., 2 hours.
Yeah, everything starts at 4 p.m. It means that 4 p.m. is the base.
Where this officially will happen?
Yes, we'll now start. Either the program is starting because after we have done the declaration at the party headquarters, then we all move to Accra Sports Stadium, and then we start
those
the
of you in
arrangement.
Accra?
Yes, those of us in Accra. We will all move in there, and then we start to put things in order and get all members of the party and the leadership to address.
How did you discuss the issue of what happened to Alan's people at Northeast, where you said this guy was beating, so that, for example, how are you going to prevent violence or people being attacked?
We've given all security issues to the Ghana Police Service, and they have been instructed to deal with all security matters. Voting is not going to be indoor. It's going to be just like the national elections. It must be outdoor, and everybody, all parties have been given, their agents have been provided, all the security checkpoints, everything has been arranged. And we think that what happened on 26th will be avoided on the 4th of November.
Hansen, did the media get to see the candidates?
Yes, so we saw Dr. Usakuto was the first person to come in. We were at the lobby at Alisa Hotel when he walked in. And then we were later ushered into the room.
So he didn't speak to the press?
He didn't speak to the press. He just went to the meeting. And then when we were in there, waiting for all other dignitaries to arrive, then Francis Adenimo
also came
in, followed by Kennedy Ohene Japan, and then Dr. Baumia.
So all four went in the meeting and were in the room together?
They were in the room together. Then the president, so immediately the president arrived, the meeting started. And then I
thought it would have been nice after the meeting for the four to come before the media and say, okay, media, here we are the four. It's going to be a clean election. We are all happy with the process. Don't go and report any. Do you understand? But we didn't see that. Whatever you said happened indoors. So we don't know what happened.
Yeah, but they pledged in their speeches.
But did the media listen to the speech?
Because the media was not in. And
so what's the point of
that? That is why the General Secretary briefed the media on what happened.
What are you guys afraid of? Why don't you allow the four of them to speak to the media and say, look, we finished, or at least let them address the media independently?
You see, every good food is cooked behind and brought forward for eating.
Oh, this is different. I see. So you haven't taken care of a runoff scenario. What has the Constitution about the runoff? I think
the Presidential Election Commission committee has taken care of that. If there is the need for a runoff, I think that most of the timetable will change with regards to the announcement at the Ehunijan.
So you've made so if there's a tie, you will have to announce a date for runoff.
The same electoral college will have to
announce it.
Will do the same voting.
Wow. Yes. This is interesting. I don't think they are planning for a runoff, Hansen.
It doesn't look like that.
I mean, in the first one they announced the runoff date.
They announced the runoff date and gave room for runoff. I mean, they will say that they have room for runoff, but in every conversation you have with people there, it looks like they are waiting for Saturday to be over, get a new leader. And mind you, they said December 2 to do the primaries for the orphan constituencies.
So there's a lot of pressure.
After November 4, they have to, the parliamentary primaries also come with their own issues. Already we've heard issues from the camp of Kennedy Japan on what they may or may not do when they win the vote. Yeah. So it's interesting, but from the point of the party, it looks like they are hoping to get everything done on Saturday and then move the party
Haruna,
forward.
last question to you. What kind of pressure is the leadership of the party under, and also the electoral commission or the electoral committee? Because a lot of people criticize the election and the way Alan left the party and all of that. You are a new executive. Do you feel you have to do something to show that you guys are in charge and that the election is clean? Is there a bit of pressure on the national executive?
Not really, Bernard. You see, as human beings, you meet pressure, you meet situations, and we were voted or appointed to solve a problem. So once these problems emanate from the people, then we seize the opportunity to handle these particular problems. Because this is a corporate institution. We are dealing with human beings. No political party can win power by executives alone. You have to win power with the people. So once these things come, we are all the same. People, behavior, attitude are different. So we meet all these things together. So we try as much as possible to handle them and to make sure that we don't step on other people's toes.
So is there a fear that if somebody loses and doesn't feel fairly treated, they may leave, like Alan left? Is that fear in the NPP?
Today, that is erased because all of them agree to the fact that nobody is going to resign should he lose the November elections. And we believe
they agree that they didn't. Does that not depend on how they lose, though? If they feel they've been cheated, why would they not be angry?
All these matters have been addressed and they sign on to
So they signed that they won't leave the party?
They will not.
Haruna Mahama is the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. Hansen Agyemang is with Citi TV, Citi FM. Big day for MPP on Saturday. 203,000 candidates, over 375 polling centers, or 348 or something like that. Voting starts at 7. By 2 p.m. they will know who will win. They say they will announce the winner by 4 p.m. We'll come back and go back to Musa to finish his polling issues. This is the Citiuation Room. Less than 48 hours to D-Day for MPP. Stay with us.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117. And on HD Plus, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD Plus boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
We're still in the Citiuation Room and we are working our way towards November 4. It's Saturday. Today's Thursday, by the way. My guest in studio, Musa Dankwa. Earlier on, I had Hansen Agyemang of Citi News and also Haruna Mahama of the MPP, is a Deputy General Secretary. They say they are set and they are going to have a smooth election. Let's come to the final prediction. So regional and national predictions, what do you mean by assuming delegates break out the way they voted in poll? What do you mean by this?
Right. You remember DMB was on 43.5%.
Yes.
And Kennedy was on 23.5.
Yes.
If we ignore the views of those who said they won't disclose or undecided and model the poll outcome just on these two block of people, how would the risk look like?
This is what you mean by that?
Yes.
And in that scenario, you're going to have what?
Okay.
Green is Kennedy.
Green is Bawumia.
Blue, fantastic. So yes. I have for written Bawumia will win at 85.
Yes.
Ignoring the I won't tell you,
yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Ashanti, Kennedy will win.
Yes.
Based on that assumption.
That assumption, yes.
Bono region and Bono East, Bawumia will win comfortably.
Yes.
Central region, Kennedy will win. Eastern, Eastern,
Bawumia will
win. Greater Accra, Bawumia will win. Northeast, he will win. He would win Northern region. Oti will split.
Oti will split.
Bawumia will win Savannah, win Upper East, win Upper West, win Volta. Western region, he will win slightly.
Slightly, yes.
And then win Western North. So you're saying if we just take those who say they will vote for this or that.
Yes.
But that really doesn't happen in real life.
Yes, exactly.
So this is model one.
This is model one. And based on that, if you go forward, the next slide will give you the...
So now you're saying prediction based on assuming delegates break out in line with their headline poll.
Yes.
Good. So that then means that he will get 65.3
and Kennedy 34.2.
So we're saying that if we just take those who said they will vote for either person
yes.
and ignore those who said anything else, this will be the result on, where am I? On Saturday.
Yes.
Slightly below his 68%. And a bit above what he got in the first round. He got, I don't know, 20.
Around 14%.
Yeah. So, wow. 65-34.
Yes.
That's based on assumption 1.
Yes, assumption 1.
His people say, no, if you guys have moved, this is 65. You guys have gone for, I had go back. You guys are not with me. It's 65.3. This is the slide I want. This is the slide I want. These guys have moved. Yeah,
Yes.
This is the slide I want. All right. Now, but it's a different assumption. So now let's go to the next assumption. And viewers, this is really statistics, okay? Trying to just understand the various scenarios based on the data. All right. So it helps us to think about the data in a different way. So it's so you're saying now this is your regional prediction.
Yeah, this is what we think is most realistic.
Assuming undecided and undisclosed delegates break out heavily in favor of Kennedy. So you're saying that's scenario 2.
Yes.
A lot of people who are in the yellow and orange who say don't tell you. Assuming they all go for Kennedy.
Mostly go for Kennedy.
If they mostly go for Kennedy,
yes,
this is the outcome we'll get. Ahafo region will be 30-69, 30-70 Bawumia. But Kennedy will win Ashanti 55-43. Bono region will still go to Bawumia 63-37. Yeah, let's use this. So in that scenario, Kennedy wins Central by 70. He wins OT 52, and he wins Western 52. So assuming the people who say they won't tell you, they go for Kennedy, he will win Ashanti, Central,
OT,
and
Western region.
Big question, would that be enough to give him
a win?
Ultimate win? Because even though Ashanti is a big region, there's a lot of blue. If you just look
all
at
over the
charts,
map,
the blue looks a bit big, even though, so I'm guessing this is like 58 to 40 something. This is the way I see it.
Let's see.
Let's see from the way you're looking at this. So prediction, assuming the people who say they are not going to tell you, go in favor of Kennedy, yes, Bawumia still wins, but 58-40.
Absolutely.
So 60-40.
60-40 race.
He still wins it, but it's not as big.
It's not as big.
Psychologically, that will not be good for him.
Well, I don't know what they are. They put, giving themselves so much expectation in terms of 80%. And for me, they should have managed that figure a bit.
You think 80 is ambitious?
It's too ambitious. It's too ambitious. It's too ambitious.
Because your poll was for the people at the bottom. So you think that if the people at the bottom are to be listened to, the numbers are more close to the 60
range.
Is it the 65 range or the 60?
I think 60 for us is what we call the most realistic scenario we're looking at.
60?
Yes.
So it means you're saying that you think that a lot of the people who say they are not going to tell you will go for Kennedy.
Yeah.
So you think he can get to 40?
Yes.
But it will not be enough to stop Bawumia?
No.
So there's no scenario that Kennedy wins?
Unless something seismic.
Like what?
Which means that the entire, I will not tell you, and undecided move entirely to his side.
Okay. So in all your realistic scenarios, Bawumia wins?
Yes.
But it's either 60-40 or 70-30? Or
no, it's either 60, this 58.
So I'm rounding this up to 60-40.
Or 60-40.
And I'm using the 60-70.
And then 65 to around 35, thereabout.
So those are your two scenarios?
Yes.
Are those only scenarios?
Yes. We don't want to confuse
You don't
people.
complicate things?
No, complicate
So you're
things.
telling me that by Saturday, 4 p.m., Bawumia will be declared a winner?
I think so.
And he will have on average 60%?
Yes.
Plus or minus what? 1 or 2?
2.
So you don't see him getting 80-20?
No. That I can tell you.
Do you see him getting 70-30?
70-30, if you look at our upper limit of 65, in an unlikely scenario that he gets a lot of last-minute wind, he could go there. But that is a very optimistic.
So your most objective and certain prediction is between 60 and 65 for Bawumia?
Yes.
Between 60 and 65 for Bawumia?
Yes.
All right, guys, write it down. It says Bawumia is going to get between 60 and 65. And that will give Kennedy how much? Between?
In range of 35 to 40.
So 60-65 to Bawumia, and Kennedy will get between 35 to 40.
See, the reason why we're having this close contest is that Bawumia is highly competitive in the Akan areas. whereas Kennedy is entirely absent in northern areas.
So Bawumia has a certain certainty of numbers. He just has to work on his weak areas. But Kennedy's weak areas is miserable.
Absolutely. And, and that is why no scenario will put him leading unless something really, really tsunami-like kind of movement.
So maybe the president comes out to make a statement tomorrow and says, I don't know, I'm just kidding.
Acclamation.
And says, I think, I'm just waking up tonight, I think that Kennedy should be your flag bearer because that would be so funny. That's almost impossible because he's not going to speak out on that. He said that very clearly. So Musa is saying that based on the numbers he has, and mind you, this is October 9 to 11, Dr. Bawumia is going to win. He doesn't have a scenario where Kennedy wins unless something seismic happens. We don't know what a seismic thing is. Maybe there's an earthquake somewhere. We don't know. So by his prediction, Dr. Bawumia will be declared flag bearer, but the number is between 60 and 65% victory for him. That's the realistic number he's using. He doesn't think he will reach 80, but he doesn't think it will be that much below 60 as well. So it's more around the 60, 65. Well, it's just a day and a half to find out. Thank you for watching. Earlier on, we had Hansen Ajaman of Citi News and Haruna Mahama from the MPP. He's the Deputy General Secretary. Umaru Sanda was not here today. Next week, we'll come back and review. We'll review whatever happens. So watch out for that as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.